There we go. All right, back. Hi, folks. Buck here. Back another Saturday night with the bait shop. We're continuing on this week. Started at Lone Star last week. We're headed over to the Czech Republic this week. We're just going to walk up the ladder. Why not? Been spending a lot of time up on the higher level, and we're getting a lot of new subscribers, and they're lower level guys and gals. Welcome aboard, all you guys. So, thought it would only be right if we just keep on going here, and we'll just hit a couple of these smaller waterways, and go ahead and give a couple of pointers, and it may help you out a little bit while we're fishing. So, that's what we're going to talk about. There's nothing in the news this week. Not a thing. I guess no news is good news, right? That's the way I look at it. So, turn that volume down a little bit, Bucket. Boiling your ears out. So we're headed over to Lesni Vila this week. I used to have 9 fish over there. They snuck one in on me. I didn't realize this. But when the Dnipro River came out, we had a new fish, which was the European Weatherfish. Well, he snuck that little critter in over there in Lesni Vila. I didn't know about that. I was over there today making sure I had all my notes in line. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a weatherfish in here now. But anyway, I don't have them caught yet, so we're going to make sure that we get 2 of them nabbed up. Now, there's no unis over here on Lesni, so the best we can ask for is trophies, which that's cool. So we've got a common weatherfish and a trophy weatherfish over there, so he'll be on the menu for this evening. Got 3 drop zones over there. This is a pond, basically. It's a backyard pond. Ain't much bigger than the one down the road here. However, it's got carp in there. Got a mere carp in there and common carp in there, so that's not too bad. Got a northern pike in there. Peruvian carp's also in there. The European perch. What else is over there? The tench. Better check my notes. Oh, the silver bream. For you bream hunters. And I thought that, we're over there in Europe, the Czech Republic, so they fish a lot. That's where all this ground bait stuff is in the game from. Americans don't use so much ground bait. I mean, we chum, throw some dough balls, a can of corn out there in the water, or if you're out there hunting for carp, but not to the extent. At least over here, it's starting to pick up a little more with the ground baits. But we're going to do it. We're going to throw some ground baits on. I got some sticks set up with some feeders on them. So when we get over there, we'll talk about them a little bit. But let's talk about our fish. I got them up there. Yeah, this is also home to the perch bully. So he's the monster fish, and he is the biggest fish in this water. And he's 6.6 pounds, 3 kilos. Everything else, the biggest fish in there is the mere carp. And the common carp are they're equally the same, 2.2 pounds a kilo. That's it. That's all we're doing with there. So we're going with really light gear to make it fun. We're not taking McConzies and putting number 2 hooks on them. I just can't handle that. So, fish. Let's talk about them. We got the common carp over there, the common roach, European perch, like I said. Weatherfish is there now, the mere carp, the northern pike, Peruvian carp, silver bream, and the tench. Now, hook sizes. Each one of these fish are all different. Northern pike, it's 1/0 to 5/0, but depending on what water you're on. Like I said, not even the pike here are 2 pounds or over 2 pounds. So we're not dealing with big fish here. For me, number 6 to 3/0 if you must for the perch or the pike. If you must, I wouldn't even go there. 1/0 probably. 1/0 will handle all this stuff. I think that's the biggest hook I got on my stick. So when we get over there, we'll take a look how I got them rigged up. I think depending on which fish we're going after. But most of them, like I said, number 4s will catch almost everything over there. Number 4, because those goofy carp will bite on that little number 4 because they're not very big carp. All right. So, what do you got going up there, Buck? All right. So let's talk a little bit about the baits. We'll throw the lures up baits and lures at the same time. Baits for these guys. Well, red worms, want to have that. Bread with honey, believe it or not. You want some of that. Semolina, crawfish cut, bloodworms, dough balls, small minnows for the pike, possibly, if you want to fish for that pike with on live bait. But over here, the casting lures work real good. We'll talk about it. So you want night crawlers. Tench likes those night crawlers. Red maggots, if you're going to bring maggots. Marshmallows, and pedo. That's kind of the bait you want to make sure that you have. And you can fish have been caught on centipedes on this pond. So if you have some centipedes, but if you're low level, you probably don't have them centipedes. Lures. Well, casting spoon, folks. Casting spoon, narrow spoon. Throw the shads, 2-inch shad will work on this water. Same with your grubs, 2-inch grub, and spinners. Spinners will work. For your perch, pike will hit a spinner, but you're better off with the narrow spoon. Narrow spoon or casting spoon. That'll do you good. What have we got over there, Buck? Yeah. Have them all up there. Yeah, that red and white daredevils works real good out here. And the yellow one with the red polka dots on it. That's pretty good casting spoon. And I think that's a low level. You can get that at level 2 or 3. So you should have that one. The red and white daredevil, if you're just getting this waterway, it is level 3, and it costs a whole whopping $420 for license and travel to get there. So doesn't cost a lot, but you'll find out the bite is slow on this lake, on this waterway. Right? On a sunny day, you really don't want sunny days. So I hope we don't see a sunny day for our first day out there. Sunny days, if you do get one, early mornings. That's about it. 5 o'clock to 7 in the morning. And your trophies, your best time for your trophies, 6 o'clock on this waterway. Now, if it's sunny. Now, partly cloudy day, that's better. You got that whole morning. There's a couple of double peaks there along the way. So you got 6 o'clock in the morning, they start hitting. Now, your best time is between 7 and 8. 7 and 8 hour. 9 o'clock is a little dip in the peak there, and then 10 o'clock is another peak. So you're kind of good with just a small dip at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's kind of what we're hoping for, is a cloudy day. We'll get a cloudy day, partly cloudy with a double dip. That's kind of what we want. And as far as the unis goes there, 7 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning is your best shot at the trophies. Trophies. Now, full cloudy day, that's a little different. You got 5 o'clock in the morning on that one, and then the next peak runs from 7 to 7:45. You'll hit them. As far as trophies go for there, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock are the peaks for your best time at trophies on a cloudy day. Now, nighttime fishing ain't real good on this waterway, to tell you the truth. I mean, if you got a clear half moon out there, I don't usually fish at night here. I take a small net anyway, fill my net up, and go on to the next day. Is how I fish this waterway. But I know a lot of guys like to fish tonight because they can fast forward a lot, as much as they want, without costing anything. I don't really fast forward, so that's not an issue for me. I just fish what I'm given. I kind of, that's how I do it. So at nighttime, your clear half moon, midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning, you got peaks there, and at 3 in the morning. And 3 o'clock in the morning is your best shot for a trophy. Partly clear with these peaks, with a peak in the dawn, then you're 2100 and 2300. So 9 and 11 o'clock for that one. And that's your best shot for your trophies. And then there's the last one, which is the partly clear with the peak at midnight. If that's your case, then of course it's hot from 11:30 to 1:30. And that's where your peak is. And about 1 o'clock is your best shot at trophies. 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. Well, that takes care of Lesni Vila Fishery. Let's go over and take a look at my sticks. Get that up first before you flip over there, Buck, because if you switch scenes, it's going to be you again. There we go. All right. Let's go to the inventory. Well, let's take a look. What are we going to get? We might as well take a look at it. Day one says double peak here, partly cloudy, but this weather forecast thing here lies. Now we'll test this one out. It says day one, this is what we're going to get, which is cool. Day one and day two is actually cool. And cloudy. So we don't have any sunny days for the next 3 days, which is good, actually good for Lesni Vila. All right, so this is kind of cool. So maybe we'll catch some fish here at a decent pace. All right, so with that being done, like I said, the fish they added that guy in there when the Dnipro River come out, so we got to go get him. We got a couple of them there. And for these guys, maggots, bloodworms, redworms, night crawlers, and of course, all these things, and they don't list it enough. Crickets, guys. Did I mention crickets? Oh, by the way, crickets are pretty good for these. Okay. Let's clean that up. William, what's up? Hey, hi, Bill. How are you, sir? Welcome. Thanks for joining. All right, I got everything going on there. We're good there. Concurrent viewer. No, we had 7 views, 7 clicks and out of there already. All right, let's go to the inventory. Keeping the same sticks that I had at Lone Star, guys. So this is all lightweight stuff. So we got our flipping stick, a little telescopic there that we had last week. The OmniFloat 1410. 7.5. Now what do I got? He's probably got one of my bigger hooks on. Yeah, there's a 1/0 hook, and I got some bread and honey on him. All right, so we're gonna take this guy here, and of course I'm running again. This is the 8-pound test on a 7.7 and a 7.5 setup. So this is strong. And there's no real reason for this. It's just that's how I have my template for this OmniFloat. Don't need the workhorse Omni on this waterway. Like I said, we're only catching 2.5 pound fish. So. Got our value spin 8.6 here. That's a sweet little spinning rod here with a Crucian under 4,000 on there. So we're all right with this guy. Now, we had one bottom rod last week, and this was it. It was a Creek Pro 910, the 7.5 pounder, another Crucian under 3,500 on this guy. And I got him set up with a sinker here and some Melina balls. Now, all I basically did was add 2 more lightweight. I had 2 lightest weights I got. So I added another Creek Pro, the 810, which is a 7-pounder. And what I got here again is anytime you're down in this range, I like the Crucian. If you can, if you're in this 7-pound range. If you drop a little lower, like you'll see in the next stick, then I don't go with a Crucian. And you'll see why in the next one. All right, so this one here, we got a Crucian under 3,500 again, 7-pounder, 7-pounder. This is all matched up. Now here, again, I got 6-pound braid on here, and I went to a 5.5 mono, because you can do mono, braid to mono on a feeder pole. You can't do it on a match rod, but you can do it on this one, on a bottom rod, which is cool. So we got mono on there, it doesn't sink as good as 4.0, but I went for the weight-wise here. Oh, while we're here, because I did put this new one on here. Now, it's set at 78 inches. We do not want a leader length of 78 inches on this bottom rod. We're going to adjust this up here. Kind of want 20. Why won't it move over? There we go. Leader length, somewhere around 24. 2 feet, somewhere right in there, 24 to 26 to 28. It don't matter. So we'll go 26. Got him at 26 here on this guy. Now, we'll get down to the last guy here, which is the lightest bottom rod you can get in the game. The Creek Pro 710, 6.5 pounder. Now with this guy, this one here actually allows you, because we got a 6.5 pound stick and we got a 6.4 engine running this whole show, but that Inspira Slim 2500, even though it's a smaller spool than the Crucian Hunter 3500, it's a little bit lighter weight, but it's okay with this rod setup. It's fine, but that recovery is what I like, 31.5 versus the Crucian Hunters are at 27.5. So you're getting a little more recovery out of this Inspira, all right? So that's what's like. And it's 6 pounds, 6.5, 6.4, and I'm running 6-pound braid. So not a problem there. 6-pound braid, 2 5.5 pound mono leader. So this is a decent setup. Now, like I was talking about, we're going to do a little European style fishing tonight. So we're going to mix up a little bit of ground baits. So we got these mixed with some clothes. I got some clothes feeders hooked up on here. Now this is really lightweight gear, and there aren't too many. I mean, you can only get like a 1/2 ounce and this 5/7 ounce feeders is all we got that will fit this stick. So I got the clothes 5/7 on there. This is a low capacity, but you know we're going to feed each stick. So we got each stick's got its own little low capacity. So it'll work, and then we'll go ahead and now. As far as the ground baits go, it's this water is not cold, but yet it's not warm, kind of in between. So you can go either way with your ground baits. I would suggest it doesn't. They both work for me, whether it's a cold water or warm water on this waterway. So with that being said, you can always throw a recipe up. I have a cold water recipe here: crimson cold water, an active feeder with a little spicy rose golden and spicy worms golden aromas. I think I had, yeah, and I've got some of the new forage bloodworm particles in here. So this is something you can mix up real quick. This is good for your smaller, your crimson cold, and it works for cold water, and it's your smaller whitefish, and smaller ponds with slow flow. All right. What's another good one? Black roachers, not too bad either. So this isn't bad. I use a universal mix and a little black roacher here. It's 17 ounces of this. Now this, you got to say, this is if you're going to be fishing a long time in a waterway. These amounts, guys, 17 ounces, 60 ounces. Just talking full bags here. That's a lot of ground bait. You don't need to mix that up, but like tonight, if you'll see what I've got mixed up for tonight. Nowhere near this kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. You don't waste the whole bag of ground bait. You know, you see a lot of these other guys, and I ain't mentioning names, but a lot of the other contact creators, they're telling you, throw the whole bag in there, bag of this and a bag of that and a bottle of this. You're wasting your money. Don't do that. Mix up a little bit at a time. You don't even know if it's going to work for you if you're mixing your own. Now, if you got a recipe off of somebody else on the internet that's proven and worked, but, the whole idea of this is to mix up your own stuff and get something really good that works for you. All right? So this black roacher one that I call black roacher, it's not bad, but it's got universal mixture in it also and a little bit of alarms. And get that out of there. Oh, that don't pop up. All right, back over here. Now, what I got mixed up was they gave us some new stuff. So I thought we'd give some of the new stuff a try that we got when we got the Dnipro River. And we got a moonshine. We got a Geyser Molinix moonshine bait. I can't find out what kind of aroma this is, so I guess it smells like alcohol. So I've added a little bit of the corn stick ground bait to this because, moonshine, corn, it kind of goes hand in hand. So we got a little corn stick ground bait in here, 5 ounces. 5 ounces, a 50-50 here. Not 50 ounces, not 17 ounces, 5. Okay? And I threw in this was new, the Delta garlic for carp. So we put a little bit of aroma in there. And, of course, I haven't tried this forage bloodworm stuff. This is new. But I've been using we have other bloodworm mix that I use. So we're going to try this one out. This is all new thing here. So we'll mix a little bit of that up when we get there. And we got some other things. I got some recipes set up. Now, if you guys mix your own stuff up, something I came across here, which was odd. And maybe somebody can leave me something in the comments. Hey, Egg, how's it going? Because for some reason, this classic Amelia, it won't let you add any aromas or particles to it. I mean, nothing. I did find that the millet and hemp was the only particle I could get added into this. The only one. And it's the same with the plum. The only way this works, which one do I have here? The classic that I added. Now, the classic, what I did was the only way I could add the millet and hemp to it, I had to actually add black roach also to the classic mammalia. So that was the only way I could get, even though it says it, it'll take it like aromas. Here's an aroma, molasses. We'll try to add molasses to it. It says, okay, you can add it. You can't put a single thing in there, nothing. You click add, it says, okay, yeah, I did it, recipe saved. It don't work. It won't let you add anything to it. I was able to add the millet and hemp, which was kind of new. So we're going to try this recipe out. That's just because I was trying to, and that's why these other ones, the plum, there's just nothing in them. So we're just going to go straight up with this ground bait, see how it works. And I got some strawberry here. So this was the new stuff they came with that we got in the store. So I thought we'd try it out on this waterway and see how it goes. I mean, we always got the old faithfuls. None of this garbage works. We can do a universal mixture here. This always works good. Grand fish feeder. Like I said, proportions, guys. I mix this up when I plan on staying on a waterway for a while. Okay, a couple of days. Because remember, once you leave the waterway, any of this that's unused goes bad. You lose it. So there's no reason to mix a whole bunch up. Unless you're really going to be there a while. But practice with this. You'll get to know how much you can mix by the type of fishing you do, how much you really need to mix up. Just remember that. It's not so much the amount as it is the percentage in the recipe to each other. Okay? Your aromas only can go up to 10%, and 10% is actually too hot. If you're they recommend, some of the big European guys that I talked to, and it wasn't big. I had to go to school on this, so I had to call people and talk to people who do this stuff for real. And they more or less are running. They say to run right around 4 to 5% on your aromas and particles. I'm running a little hot here on the hemp corn with this one, just because I am. It was a bigger batch, but that's but they tell you they allow you up to 10%, they allow you up to 15%. But that's kind of hot and sweet. You can play with this because you'll tell if you're too hot with your aromas and particles, the fish won't bite. It'll be either too much molasses or too sweet or too something. It'll be too much. And you'll be able to tell because if it's working for you and you decide, I'm going to bump this up a little bit, and all of a sudden it don't work so good, it's a good reason why. So, and if you're just trial and erroring, start off light with your flavors, beef them up till they stop working, and then back them off. So you can fine tune your recipes that way. All right, and it's like I said, it's just a matter of percentages. All right, so let's see. That's all we got there. I've got that ready to go. Inventory back here. We're just gonna take a small net. Like I said, 7.5 pound single fish weight is fine for this, and I don't plan on being there for a couple of days, so we're good with 55 pounders here. I won't beat up my good expensive nets. Alrighty, folks, that looks pretty good there. Checking my notes, make sure I didn't leave nothing out. Oh, that looks pretty good. Well, Egg, Bill, I hope you guys come back, join us on the water, Czech Republic, Lesni Vila, tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll be back about 36 minutes, 34 minutes, something like that. Get the show started. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope some of this helped you guys out. If it did, remember, even if it didn't help you out, hit the like button anyway. I appreciate it. It helps. All righty. Never, ever give up the fight. We'll see you later.